I'm ahead of the curve, also known as James Bergman, and in today's video it will be quite a chill chat, I guess. Just updates, what I've been reading, a recent book haul. So yeah, I advise you to get a drink and just be in a comfy position because I'm just gonna go through some updates and show you some books. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's go with the updates first. So yeah, I haven't published a book review now in like, what, 2 weeks? And for those who enjoy my book reviews, I apologize. Quite frankly, I've been reading books that I haven't actually felt like reviewing. That's because the books that I have been reading have been in preparation, in revision for the interviews that I've been conducting as of late. And I plan to do those far more often now, whereas before they were a bit more inconsistent than my book reviews. And basically, I am not going to stop my book reviews anytime soon. It only felt like that because I have been working quite hard to read the material that I'm talking to my guests about in those interviews. Yeah, the books that I have been reading that are fiction or books that maybe would be something I would review, I've just felt like not doing it. This is also because a lot of energy has been kind of put into one thing and not the other, I guess. And so my plan going forward is to do as many book reviews as I do interviews, but the book reviews depend on me, of course, reading a book and feeling like I want to discuss it. And so as much as I want to aim for the goal of doing book reviews as much as interviews, I don't know how practical that might be at certain points. So there might be weeks where, I don't do a book review. I might only do, an interview. And so, yeah, I don't know, this might be bad news for the people who only like book reviews, but for those of you who like interviews, which many of you may have joined me as of late as new subscribers, and for that, thank you so much. I'm very happy that I've kind of done more of these interviews because, quite frankly, they are my favorite part of the channel right now. And in fairness, conversations about philosophy are those which come by quite rarely in real life. So, I enjoy them more. I enjoy them more than doing book reviews. So from the beginning, the reason why I did book reviews is because I could try and learn what was in the books better if I write notes about it, and if I formulate ideas and then I want to share them in a video. So that was kind of my way to learn what I was reading. And yeah, I mean, hopefully the book reviews won't go away anytime soon. If anything, they will become more organized and better produced. So yeah, there will be more interviews and more book reviews coming. Thank you for your patience, anyone who has been yearning for a book review. So yeah, I have many interesting guests coming on the channel. I won't go into who at the moment because I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted between like announcing it early and kind of randomly dropping it, or announcing it like a day early. I don't know yet. I'm not sure whether the suspense is a good thing or not. I'm still trying to work that out. But one thing that I will confirm is that I am talking to Hamza Zorsis again. We are going to be reviewing his debate with Lawrence Krauss from a number of years ago now. And I am very excited for that. That's a debate that I have seen numerous times over. And it was actually one of the first debates where I thought the atheist actually didn't do that great. He was, Krauss was not only arrogant, which has nothing to do with his arguments, of course, but I found his arguments themselves were quite dismissive of Hamza's arguments. And in preparation for that, I will be, reading far more on Islam. I will make sure that I'm prepared for that as much as I can be. Yeah, so those are kind of the updates, I suppose. So yeah, about the book reviews and the interviews, I'm going to try and make them as consistent as I can. And I've just got really, really cool guests coming on in the next month. I am aiming, as I said, to do a book review a week and an interview a week, but it really depends on how things plan out. Like, you know, if there's a rescheduling, if I'm reading a book that I don't really want to review. So it kind of depends. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to get into what I've been reading, and then I'll go into the current book haul. A book that I've been reading for quite a while at this point because of its size, The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by William Sherr. I haven't actually read this in maybe a few weeks, only because there was a point where I was really infatuated with, you know, learning about the history of Germany and World War II. I love all of that kind of stuff, as you probably could tell from my videos. Yeah, this is really a good book if you want to learn pretty much everything about Nazi Germany and World War II. So yeah, I've been reading this, and far more digestible of the lot have been Robert Louis Stevenson's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I actually studied this in English and I got an A in that exam, and that was one of my most successful exams because I didn't actually do that well in my GCSEs. And yeah, I haven't read this since, and it is a really, really good book, actually. His writing is extremely gripping and dark, and it's also a very short piece, although it's taking me a while to read, probably because I'm more interested at the moment in the more philosophical pieces. But yeah, I'm reading this book, and it's a nice kind of return to literature after so much philosophy as of late. And I've also been reading 7 Types of Atheism, although I technically finished this yesterday. And this is by John Gray, and those of you who are up to date with my book reviews know that I reviewed his Straw Dogs about, I don't know, a month ago or whatever, 3 weeks ago or whatever it was. And I must say, I was kind of confused about the title because I thought it would be Gray talking about, you know, different types of atheism, like agnosticism, atheism, and so on. But actually, it's a far more deeper book than I first believed it to be. What this book is fundamentally about is covering atheists from history, such as Nietzsche, Schopenhauer, Conrad, for example, or from Heart of Darkness, that piece. And he not only talks about these individuals and their works and kind of interprets that what they said and how they've represented atheism differently, such as Ayn Rand, who I want to read, but I was surprised to hear that she kind of tried to start this, I don't know, it almost felt quite fascist movement. I don't really know much about Ayn Rand, but yeah, it sounded pretty strange. Totalitarian, if you ask me, from the outside looking in anyway. But yeah, 7 Types of Atheism by John Gray. I actually do want to review this. I probably will. I'm not really sure yet. The thing is, I have a lot to say about the piece, so I guess I should, right? Yeah, so I was very impressed actually with Gray, and I must say, this leads me to the next book that I have literally just started reading yesterday, and guess who it is? John Gray again. I loved 7 Types of Atheism, and whilst I thought Straw Dogs was quite pessimistic, I love his style. I love the fact that he's able to point at the new atheists and say, look, they're not really that good, are they? Let's be honest. They haven't really tackled the issues seriously. And so what Black Mass is about is more of a political view of it, I gather. It's about how kind of the new ideas of utopia, political ideas of utopia, are actually more religious than they proclaim to be. Or not to be, I mean, Russia, the uprise of nihilism and things like that in the 18th century, which Gray actually talks about in 7 Types of Atheism as well when he's on Dostoevsky. But although Dostoevsky wasn't an atheist, but, well, he was a closeted atheist, maybe. I don't know. There's a discussion to be had about that, which is probably my brother's kind of mad self-review if you want to check that out. But yeah, I'm reading Black Mass by John Gray, and yeah, I just love his style, to be honest, and I I want to continue reading him. Okay, so on my Bookhaul pile, there's actually quite a lot, and some of them I have not included only because the Bookhaul has kind of been intermittent. But anyway, I'm going to start with the books that I am reading in preparation for my last year at university as an undergrad, because I'm doing the modules, the psychology of religion, paranormal, and of trauma. So yeah, let me get through those. I just realized that one of the books that I got, this is how long ago I got it. One of the books I got was actually supposed to be on this list. I guess I'll start with it first. So yeah, this is called The Body Keeps the Score, and it is by Bessel van der Kolk. I probably pronounced that horribly. But yeah, this is all about, as you can tell, trauma. This is kind of a seminal read in psychology. I've been recommended it by numerous people, to be honest. My peers in my job where I was an assistant psychologist. So yeah, I'm going to read this in preparation for that module. The next book is the Penguin Book of Exorcisms. This one I'm pretty excited to read, actually, because some of you may know that I really like the occult. I really like the unknown segments of psychology and philosophy. Although I'm quite skeptical of them as much as I like them. But I am reading this because of my module in the paranormal, and of course my own interest in it. But yeah, this is apparently a compilation of different kind of cases, exorcisms in the past, and I'm looking forward to it very much. And I thought it would be a lot bigger than this as well. Like I thought I thought it would be a huge book, but apparently not. Yeah, so I hope I enjoy that, and you never know, I might actually review it and do a video on exorcisms. So let me know if you want that. The next book that I have got in preparation for my psychology of religion module in particular is Religion Explained by Pascal Boyer. This looks really cool. I'm not really sure what to expect, to be honest with you. I don't know. I just got it because it was recommended to me, and it's kind of, you know, a book that I gather goes into the history and the psychology of religion. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. And the next book that I got was actually a recommendation from Matt Dillahunty in his book recommendations video on YouTube. And one of them is called Informal Logic, a Pragmatic Approach. This is by Douglas Walton. Now, logic is extremely important, as you guys know, when debating and when thinking deeply philosophically, you know, because if we commit fallacies in our logic, we are going to get things wrong without knowing that we're wrong. And so it's obviously better to try and avoid being wrong, because people, as Matt Dillahunty himself says, people don't mind being wrong, they just don't mind being publicly exposed as being wrong. That's the humiliation there, that's kind of the ego, right? And that's fair enough. And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to this book on logic. I have never actually read a book on logic. All my knowledge of logic comes from the internet, along with quite a lot of my thoughts, I suppose. I mean, surprise, surprise, right? But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. Logic is extremely important, and thou shalt not commit any logical fallacies. Yeah. So the next book that I got is Martin Goodman's A History of Judaism. Now, I guess this is a slight reference to who I may be featuring on the channel. It's a Jewish writer and speaker and thinker. I won't give it away because I will hold the suspense. But yeah, this is quite a lengthy book, I gather from it, but it looks pretty interesting. I mean, I virtually know very little about Judaism. All I know from Judaism is what I've learned from Christianity and Islam, which probably aren't the best representatives of Judaism, since, you know, there are questions, contradictions, and so on. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this in preparation. I don't know if I'll be able to read all of it, but with books like this, and oh yeah, I've also been reading Tom Holland's Dominion, which okay, I can't really get out because it's impractical, but I've been reading Dominion by Tom Holland, not the Spider-Man. And my written review is actually on Goodreads, by the way. And if you don't follow me on Goodreads, it's basically a place where you can track which books I read. And if I don't do a video review, I do a written review of the book. So yeah, if you want my thoughts on more books, then check out my Goodreads. It's in the link in the description. Also, by the way, I have Twitter now. Yeah, I was kind of apprehensive about Twitter because I think intellectualism kind of goes to die there. But I've got Twitter to, publish my content and to connect with people, essentially. So if you feel like following me on there, and maybe once in a while I'll post something trying to be smart or whatever, then yeah, follow my Twitter if you want. Outright apparel. But we yet to see. So yeah, that's the book on Judaism that I decided to get. And I also thought it was about time that I read Plato's The Republic. Now, you may be gasping, why have I not read The Republic yet? Basically, I skim read some of it in a shop and I wasn't really that impressed. And since then, in all honesty, I've just not got around to reading it. It's kind of that simple, to be honest. It's pretty much the most popular book in philosophy after like Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. And yeah, I just picked it up. So I will read this and, I don't know, most likely review it, I imagine. I mean, it's one of those books, isn't it, that is probably worth a review. But yeah, The Republic. And okay, I got two left. Right. So basically, I wanted to read more Kierkegaard, and I asked my good friend Stephen Dunn, and he recommended as a pretty much I would say from my experience, an expert on Kierkegaard. I actually interviewed him a while ago, a few months ago, so check that out if you want to learn more about Kierkegaard. But I asked him, look, what Kierkegaard piece should I read? I want something philosophical, something tailored to me, and he recommended me Repetition and Philosophical Crumbs. I believe there's an alternate name for the philosophical crumbs part. I can't remember philosophical fragments, I think it's alternatively called. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this, and if I find it's worth an in-depth review, then I will do that. Yeah, I like Kierkegaard. I liked his Fear and Trembling, which I've also reviewed. And it's also quite a nice cover, although I was kind of disappointed to find there wasn't a Penguin Classics one, but, whatever. The next book, and the last book I have here, is Richard Carrier's On the Historicity of Jesus, Why We Might Have Reason for Doubt. This is also a kind of implication of an upcoming guest that I have on, who does work on the Gospels and the historicity of Jesus and so on, who's done debates with Matt Dillahunty, one of them, and Cosmic Skeptic. Now you probably know what I'm talking about if you're a debate watcher like me. But yeah, this one is huge. Yeah, it's really, really big, and I really doubt that I will read all of it in preparation. That would be quite a commitment. But what I plan to read is just kind of the essentials, I imagine. There's background here of Christianity, there's the Gospels, and there's evidence of Acts. He goes into quite a lot of detail, and Carrier is a very controversial representative of atheism and the historicity of Jesus. He openly proclaims that Jesus did not exist, and in this piece, that's where he tries to demonstrate that. Whether that's true or not is up to debate, obviously. I think, whilst we know a man called Jesus existed, I kind of doubt how much we actually know of Jesus the man, because we technically know more about Prophet Muhammad of Islam than we do Jesus Christ. And yet everybody acts like the historicity of Jesus is very strong. I mean, yeah, sure it is, but why is no one talking about Muhammad? It's kind of strange. Although I guess there's debates about the validity of hadiths and so on. Maybe. Yeah, so that's all the books that I want to read and have recently got and that I am reading. Yeah, I mean, there's probably books that I've missed out that I've read in, well, for example, I read the Unabomber Manifesto. I've done a written review of that on Goodreads, by the way, in case you want to check it out. And yeah, that was an interesting piece. I don't think he was wrong. I just think the way that he promoted the ideas, Ted Kaczynski, I think that's how you say his name. The way that he promoted his ideas, the way that he practiced what he believed, that was where the issue was. For those who don't know, he essentially became a terrorist, and it's not a good story. He's practically a genius, and the Unabomber Manifesto is him talking about technology and how it has ruined modernity, and how he's comparing the past Homo sapiens to now. It's a very, very interesting book. I actually listened to it online instead of read it because, I don't want the FBI to come into my house and like, you have a copy of the Unabomber Manifesto. It's funny how many reviews are like, well, do I say it's good? Do I say it's bad? Do I want the FBI knocking on my door? Anyway, jokes aside, yeah, that's pretty much the video in a nutshell. What I've been reading, some updates. Yeah, and I just want to thank everybody, more specifically, for all the support that you've given me. The aim of this channel at the moment is, of course, to promote books that I think are worth reading, that are worth analysing and thinking about, but it's also kind of manifested into a channel which I want to be about critical thinking. And the point of me having Muslims, Jews, Christians on the channel, and atheists, is to have a wide range of thinkers and minds and arguments being posited, and I do it with the intention of you watching it and me listening to it as well, and kind of coming to the best conclusion based on the arguments presented. But yeah, many exciting things to come. I hope you enjoy the guests that I have on, and yeah, let me know how you're doing in the comments, and let me know, I don't know, if there's any books that you want me to check out and to review, or yeah, if you have any questions or anything like that. Yeah, let me know in the comments section below. Make sure that you like the video as well. That really helps to get the algorithm going. We know how rocky that is these days on YouTube. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.